Welcome to August meeting. That I forgot to change the slide for. But, summer frame of mind, apparently. So, what's new in this past month? So we're going to talk about Office updates, since we do that every month. We're going to talk about the new Chrome and Flash thing that's happening very soon. We're going to talk about PowerShell, because this is a Mac admins meeting. And we're going to talk about the big JSS update. In case some of you aren't aware of that, we'll talk about that a little bit in depth. And we'll also talk about JDuck that's happening in a couple of months. So first off, the Office 2016 updates. This month is a little weird because they haven't pushed out the updates yet. Usually they've already pushed out the updates by the time we have our meeting, but apparently they're going to be pushed out next week. So 1525 should be out next week. So obviously there's going to be fixes to a couple of things and stuff. The details page linked here will be automatically updated, so it's the same link. So hopefully by the time you get these slides, you can just check the link and see what's new. Also expecting to be some bug fixes and new features coming along. The big thing is, of course, everything will now be 64-bit. There's been a bit of a scramble, especially if you use any add-ins or plugins. A lot of them have to rewrite their stuff to be 64-bit compatible. So I think EndNote and WebEx should already have plugins ready to go when the spin finally drops. The reflective thing that you guys use didn't look like it needed any updates, so it should be okay. And of course, they'll probably also rev up the Office 2011 with security updates and stuff. So, but that's going to be next week. So we'll maybe talk about whatever happened, the fallout of that next month. So Chrome and Flash. So as part of Google's effort to eliminate Flash, next month they're going to start blocking the analytic Flash things that happen in the background. So if you notice when web pages load and you have any sort of analytics in the background, if any of those are Flash, Google's going to stop them from running at that point, which should end up saving battery life and making the pages actually load faster and actually be more responsive, because things aren't happening in the background, that processes aren't training in the background that you have to wait for before anything happens. So that should be good. And in December, they'll start defaulting everything to HTML5. So the end is nigh.
About time.
So this actually happened today. So I actually got it in here just for today. So Microsoft, in their embrace of the open sourcing things, has decided to open source PowerShell. So they've released a version for both Mac and Linux. So basically, if you don't know what PowerShell is, it's essentially Bash for Windows, with a few Microsoft tweaks in here and there. So it's not actually Bash, but it's a shell similar to that. So in a lot of the articles, basically they're saying that when PowerShell on different platforms, will give users on those platforms the ability to create PowerShell scripts and port them over to the different platforms with some tweaking necessary. They're basically saying right now that like a lot of Windows-only features, there's still some things that are Windows-only features, and some Windows PowerShell scripts that you write might need to be tweaked to use on either the Mac or Linux. But eventually, they're envisioning a sense that basically Windows admins who know PowerShell can just write automation and scripts for their Linux fleets in PowerShell. I think that's the goal there. There are currently alpha versions. It's like PowerShell 6 alpha something for both Linux and Mac, and there's a GitHub page available. So yes, they're going full open source. I'm assuming they accept pull requests, so good luck with that. And that's PowerShell for Mac. So more information as we get if someone plays around with it. I haven't even downloaded it yet.
Actually, one thing about that I thought was pretty interesting is that SSH is going to be one of the primary transports for PowerShell.
Oh, okay.
So you will be able to SSH from Unix, Linux, Mac to Windows to run PowerShell. So it'll make remote administration that much easier.
Yes. Might as well start getting all of your SSH keys in now.
Of course, there's Bash for Windows too.
There is also
Yes.
Bash for Windows, yes. Because you can run, was it like it's sort of running flavor of Ubuntu inside of Windows?
Has anyone used that?
What?
Has anyone used that?
Not yet.
Azure? Yeah.
I got it up and running last night. It's in the August update of Windows 10. If you turn on developer mode and then type in Bash in the start menu, it'll prompt you to install Bash.
Yeah, I don't have anything that's Windows 10.
Neither do I.
Yeah, we just, beginning of this month, we just decided to deploy Windows 10. So
Good luck with that.
it's not bad to deploy. So, okay, so the big news, Casper released the 9.3 version of their Casper Suite, JSS. So, and the big feature that comes with this is patch reporting, which is, from all intents and purposes, is their patch management phase 1. So, what?
It's 9.93.
Oh, it's a 9.93. Oh. That's what I get for making these slides at the last minute because I didn't know whether there's going to be a meeting here or not. So anyway, so I'll fix that in the final version. So when you guys get it, it'll all be fixed. So so the big thing about patch reporting is that they're going to be reporting on Jamf is curating their own list of apps that they're going to be reporting on. Yes, and that means essentially that they have people whose sole job will be to curate this list. So it's probably just one person, or as the joke goes on Slack, it's the one intern using auto package. But yes, they will be managing it, vetting that list, and they've added software definition lists, and also their own supplied EAs that they'll use for reporting. Is anybody using 9.93 currently and has seen it? So it's the reporting piece is actually pretty nice when you actually look at it in JSS. It it basically shows you what's in compliance and what's out of compliance. The list is small. It's only about 30 apps currently. They should be adding more, but it's pretty much they got all the big ones first. Google Chrome, Firefox, Adobe Flash, Reader, and like all the Creative Suite applications and some others as well. But so if you have anything, since the mechanisms, including the greater than and less than operators that they introduced for this are not available for custom use yet. So you can't make your own software definitions easily, and you can't use the greater than or less than operators with your own smart groups, at least not at this time. And that feature is supposedly coming. So also the big thing is you can get notifications of these by email through the JSS or through regular JSS notifications when you log in, and also through another method, which I'll talk about in a second. Also new in this release is SSO support. So this is leveraging SAML on the back end, SAML 2.0. So if you have something like ADFS or OneLogin or Okta or something like that, you can set it up so you can just do SSO of the login in the JSS, and also self-service. So you can have some people can just log in with their usernames, and it will pick it up already. So I haven't tested that yet, mainly because I need to get hold of our ADFS guys and ask them what I need to configure. But I'll be testing that very shortly. SSO is always good. Also new is the LDAP proxy server for use with Jamf hosted or cloud hosted JSSs. So this way you can, so instead of having, a read-only DC or some, LDAP server in your DMZ to allow your hosted cloud JSS access to your whole directory service, you can now set up a LDAP proxy that'll basically do that for you. So that's not something I'm going to be looking into because we're all on-prem, but I know there's probably a couple of people, at least in the area, if not nationwide, they're definitely doing the JSS cloud. They're looking forward to this. So webhooks. So this is the other method. So they've added webhooks, which means if you use anything like HipChat or Slack, you can basically set up a webhook and have your JSS notifications come directly into a Slack channel or HipChat room. So that's another method for you to keep track of what's happening with your JSS. And it uses the events APIs, so you can look at things like logins, when the JSS was started or stopped, like anytime there's like any big entries. So you probably don't want to do computer check-ins if you have a large number of fleet, because then you're probably getting notifications like every couple of minutes, like every minute or so. But yes, it's definitely something to check out. Also, they've introduced database caching. So for single hosted, they're using Cache, so like A cache, so like Canadian cache. And for multiple JSSs or cluster JSSs, they're using Memcached. I've been trying to set up Memcached, but the instructions online aren't very clear, and I think they're written for Ubuntu, so I've been trying to translate this to Red Hat, and it's not a one-to-one. But I'm looking forward to that because then we can, the caching of database queries should make the whole JSS a lot faster. And also, they introduced with this version, they're now using Tomcat 8 instead of Tomcat 7, so we get some more features for that, and whatever stability and fixes and bug fixes were introduced with that version as well. As a consequence of that, though, you can't use Java 6 for the JSS anymore, and you shouldn't have been anyway. But if anybody is still using Java 6 on their JSS, it's time to migrate. So yeah, I have a full listing of the new features there, and bug fixes there. And so yeah, JNUC is coming up very shortly. Registration now, though, is $7.99, and after October 12th, it'll go up to $9.99. So if you have the cash and can do it last minute, still undecided, still the earlier the better now, especially as like most of the hotels are all full, and yeah, and it's getting closer, and so airfares will start to rise as well. So try to get in now if you want to go. They do have all their sessions posted, but times still yet to be determined. I'm sure by next month they'll have that all set out. So, and there's 3 tracks this year. There is a community track, which is going to be mostly us, people from the community doing presentations. They're going to have their own product track, which is going to be Jampers talking about things that are coming or things that are new as of the JNUC. And then the expert track, which is basically, again, I think it's mostly community driven, but it's all going to be at the level that's typically above what at least most of the sessions were aimed at last year. So this will be the hardcore sessions. So if you're interested in going, now's the time to figure it out and decide and go. So, more details there. And that's pretty much all I have. So we can open up the floor and talk about either more about the Jamf stuff or whatever floats your boat. Anything? Anyone? At JNUC, yes, I will be at JNUC this year. Yes.
Anybody else at this table going?
I'm going to submit, but because I didn't attend the other one, they're going to be like, wow. Just like, I'm there, my leg.
Yeah. Shot my load at Penn State.
Well, I mean, we
That was it
talked
for me.
about this. We talked about this earlier, but yeah, since JNUC is no longer free, I think it really messed up a lot of people's plans for this year, because a lot of, especially in education, where you need to basically budget this stuff out a year in advance, and then announcing it like January, February, kind of, screwed them over, most of those people over. So, so they're all trying to scramble to find money. So we'll see how it goes next year, but I'm wondering if attendance is going to be down a bit because of that. So we'll see.
ESU went up in price. There were more people there than ever. So.
Yeah, but they were expecting that.
Well, PSU it's always possible.
Yeah.
Oh, it went up. I thought it went up like $200.
No, it was 100 compared to the year before, but 2 years before. Remember, now they incorporated those two things, one price, whereas before it used to be that you can go to not go to those sessions.
Right. The workshops.
So compared to last year, it's $100. Compared to the year before that.
So yeah, but yeah, I haven't done 993 introduction quite yet. And what I was playing around with the beta, my test server on so basically, if you have some sort of patching in place already, whether you're using Monkey or you wrote your own per app thing, the patch reporting is going to be not very useful to you, since it only does their curated apps. Anything that might be out of the ordinary that you're really doing manually or through auto package, it's not going to report on, since you can't customize any of that stuff yet.
So it won't just give you a report that Firefox is up to date on that machine, or it has to work with their packaging?
No, it doesn't work with their packaging. Just basically essentially they've made their own Firefox EA that checks the same thing that you probably already have an EA for Firefox 4, and the internals of that look at that EA and then pull up a nice report in the window there, so you can see what it says there. So, I'm half tempted to maybe VPN and show things, but yeah, maybe I can do that.
You want me to shut this off for that one?
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
Yep. Shutting it down.